Oh, he's dented the wall.
No, that was not me.
That was you.
That wasn't me.
I just heard it. I just heard you.
The chair doesn't reach that high, you retard. That's not me.
Show you how high I can reach, dude. Alright, what do we got? I need to separate. Oh, all my notes are wet now because you've
What's your thoughts about Auschwitz having a pool?
Huh?
Welcome. What do you think of that?
Bring us into it.
Copper Scroll.
Yeah.
Part of the Dead Sea Scrolls.
The Dead Sea Scrolls.
The Dead Sea Scrolls.
Big fan
The
of the Dead Sea
formation
Scrolls.
that made up a lot of what we know about
Apocrypha.
Apocrypha. There
Yes.
you go, dude. Written by a little cult, Jewish cult in the hills and mountains outside of the Dead Sea.
Qumran, the Qumran
Is that how you
community.
pronounce it?
Qumran, yeah.
Qumran.
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 The Essenes of the Qumran Hills.
The Kumi Essenes.
The Kumi Essenes.
The Qumran Essene community was a group of religious fellas who lived on and in the shores of the Dead Sea in Judea between roughly 150 BCE and 68 CE. They're famously known as the authors and curators of the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yes,
Magic.
the Dead Sea Scrolls.
The community lived under a form of religious communism. So they basically made everyone give everything, personal property, knowledge and earnings, to a common pool managed by a fellow named the Bursar.
The Bursar.
Yeah, they were fucking crazy. The Essenes viewed themselves as the true Israel, the only valid remnant of the eternal covenant with God. They were obsessed with the duality of the universe, believing in a struggle between the sons of light themselves and the sons of dark.
The Pharisees and stuff.
Everyone
Yeah.
else.
Oh, everyone.
Everyone else.
Yeah.
Including the Jerusalem priesthood. They lived in a state of constantly preparing for the end times,
That's
awaiting a final war and the arrival of two messiahs. One kingly, the Messiah of Israel, and one priestly, the Messiah of Aaron, who were eventually massacred and forced to flee during the First Jewish-Roman War in 68 CE.
Damn, they got them. The Romans got them.
Yeah.
There would have been hundreds of Dead Sea
There's-
Scrolls.
Literally like 1,000 odd.
I don't know, like, do a Beetlejuice number. I don't know, like
75,000.
25,000.
There's 75,000 known scrolls that were found. So the Copper Scroll is what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Collection of, it's part of the Dead Sea Scrolls. It was found in this cave, CQ.
3Q15.
3Q15.
Because it's cave 3 and it's the 15th item within the cave, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I read.
15th cave.
No, third cave, 15th item in the cave,
yeah.
all the way at the back, tucked away.
Tucked away in the back left corner, I have that.
You do, and there's a
Yes.
reason why it was tucked away though, because it's made of copper, which
Yes.
is highly unusual. Because most of the stuff in these caves, the Essenes like cave community that was hid in pottery jars and stuff, was scripts made out of papyrus.
True, yes.
And
That's
this
what,
was
this is what makes the Copper Scroll unique, is that it's the only one
that's made of something.
out of
other than
all,
that.
there's like, what, how many was there? The finding of the scroll took place by a team of archaeologists from different regions. So the scrolls were found in Cave 3 of Qumran, March 20th, 1952.
Yeah.
And form a singular text of 12 columns. Of all the scrolls found in Qumran, am I saying it right? It is the only text engraved on metal and the only text in Mishanic Hebrew.
Yeah,
This is a really interesting thing.
Why?
The Essenes didn't speak that language.
Messianic Hebrew.
Messianic Hebrew. It was mainly used by Jews of the Jordan Valley.
The Jordan Valley.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have anything else about that. But yeah, it's a dialect of Hebrew primarily used between the 1st and 4th centuries CE and served as a bridge between biblical and modern Hebrew.
Yeah, right.
So like, you know,
Well, it's not very common, that's for sure.
no, it wasn't common. Lying inside the cave along the northern wall, the team found 2 cylindrical rolls of oxidized copper resting on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
While found in 2 separate pieces, broken rivet heads along the edges indicated they were once one continuous scroll. This copper scroll is really just that. It's a scroll made out of copper, believe it or not, with text inscribed into it.
Yes.
It's a scroll made out of copper.
Yes. Why was it made of copper though?
This is like the whole fucking theory
Yeah.
about why. Like, no one knows.
Should we talk a little bit about that?
Not yet.
Okay. Scholars estimate the date range from about 25 to 75 CE,
Yes.
or about 70 to 135 CE. They're not too sure, but some say it was after the fall of the first temple,
Yes.
and some say it was after the fall of the second temple. Babylonians, Romans.
A period of Jewish history dating back to 516 BC. Pretty far.
Yes.
Long time. It's roughly 70 CE.
516 BC.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's like 500 years.
I forget the Jays are like doing stuff prior to Jesus. I
Very,
forget that.
very long time ago. They were doing shit like 2,000-3,000 BC.
Yeah, I forget that very often. I always focus everything around 0 AD
Yeah.
or 1 AD.
Yeah. It's a long time.
With the fall of the first and second temple, it's funny because they were actually destroyed on the same day, 656 years apart. Obviously, first it was Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon who breached Jerusalem's walls in 586 after a 551-day siege. And the second temple burned to the ground in 70 CE during the Roman siege led by Titus. Didn't they find it all completely wound up and oxidized, so it was near impossible to read? And from what I understand, it was just sitting around forever until John Allegro got his hands on it. There was one dude back in the day, John Allegro, who, I mean, he's you know that book, The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross?
No.
Okay, it's basically a book about how Christianity and Jesus as a whole is just a trip.
Oh, I have heard this theory. Yeah, it's a mushroom.
Yeah, Anatomia mushrooms. He was the dude that made that book.
Oh.
He got completely torn apart for releasing that.
Yeah, right.
Everyone thought it was ridiculous. It kind of is. But Allegro was basically one of the only guys saying, hey, I don't think this is just, fantasy. This might actually be something. He was whimsical. John Allegro pretty much organized its physical opening. Obviously, when they found that it was all wound up, completely oxidized, he couldn't read the thing. So what he did is he organized to more or less cut it into a bunch of strips so they could analyze them one at a time.
Right.
Yeah, and that's how they started to read it, because before that, you just couldn't read it. It was completely wound up and oxidized.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Why copper? Why did they want it to be made out of copper? Primary thinking is that the authors of the scroll really just wanted it to be preserved.
Yeah.
Like they wanted it solid. An NFT.
But yeah, an NFT of the Jewish first, second temple period. But why did they want to preserve it? Well, there's a bunch of theories. I think the main theory is, so after the temple had been sacked and completely destroyed, somehow someone could get their hands on it and still be able to locate what the scroll talked about. So what is actually on the copper scroll? Well, it lists, I think it's got 64 lines.
Yeah, something 62.
So 62 to 64, but
Yeah.
each individual line are these real weird, oddly specific, real geographical not coordinates, but instructions telling someone to go to a very specific location, like turn right at Brown Rock, go into cave, look at dead rat, and you will find 1,000 tons of gold.
This guy, I'll touch more on him later, but he basically argues that the biblical talent, which is approximately 35 kilograms, was what they measured. Like, yeah, that's what
That was their
measured.
measurement system.
It
What
would
was
be
it?
a talent.
A talon, yeah.
35 kilos. That would mean there was like more gold, like described, than was in existence
Yeah, that's
at the
crazy.
time. This guy argues that if you read it as the Egyptian kite, which is only 10 grams, then it's a lot more plausible. We'll touch more about that later.
Well, I think that was the whole reason why a lot of scholars, except for John Allegro, saw the Copper Scroll as completely like fantastical.
Yeah, like a Jewish folktale.
Pretty much because of just how obscene it was. The amount of gold and silver, and I think it was incense they also mentioned. I want to touch on that. They say it's worth 11 million in
Yeah.
like today's money. 2025, $11 million. 1,000 tons of gold would be worth a lot more than that, I'm pretty sure. They also mention, alongside like gold and silver and stuff, they mention incense. And the incense in particular that they're talking about is likely referring to holy incense. The thing about this sort of incense, in a sense, it's basically reserved for exclusively the priestly class of the temple, right? If you're found using this incense outside the temple, it's heretical, right? So for some reason...
Is it like a ceremoniously clean?
Yeah, it's like a ceremonial incense. It's
Yeah,
holy incense. But if you're found using this incense when you don't exactly have the right to use it, take this with a grain of salt or sand, they can kill you for doing that. Because it's, you know, it's very holy. I think one of the theories is that they saw this coming, they saw this attack happening, they saw Jerusalem getting sacked, so they took up all their little shekels, and where else to put it and hide it than the guys living in the caves out backyard. So they've brought it to the Essenes. The Essenes have hid it, which would kind of explain, I guess, the weird language, because from my understanding, the Dead Sea Scrolls aren't particularly written in Mishanic Hebrew.
No, they're not.
I don't believe they are. So it's almost as if someone from outside that community has brought this scroll in and said, "Oh, listen, they're coming to get us. Can you please hide this for just like 5 minutes?"
Yeah.
And the Essenes have hid it. Obviously, the temple's been sacked, and no one's come back for it.
Pretty much. Well, we don't know because no one's found the treasure.
What's also unusual is the fact that at the end of the scroll, there's, was it Greek?
There's Greek letters.
Characters?
Yeah, Greek characters.
Yeah. And I think the reason that they've put like these Greek characters there, in a way, it's almost like, when you're a kid, did you ever draw stuff in like invisible ink and then you shine the torch over it and you can see
like
it?
spy pen.
Basically, it's like if they put this in that language, only certain people will be able to read it.
Like the Romans.
So it's like, maybe, I don't know. But you've got your set of instructions in Hebrew, and then you got a little bit extra for those who know.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is actually where it's hidden. That's a theory, though.
The whole like idea of it being like Jews of the Second Temple have run to the Essenes going, yo.
Quick.
We're so fucked.
Yeah.
Please get all our shekels, get all our stuff. Just hide it. We'll come back for it later. The very one of the last line, I think it's actually the very last line of the scroll, reads, "A copy of this writing and its explanation and the measurements and the details of each item is hidden in a tunnel in the north of Kolit."
A duplicate scroll.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is like one of the whole things is like people thinking that the scroll itself wasn't just like a one-off.
It's not the
actually
final
a copy
Yeah.
of an even older document. Some think it might go back to like 1500 BC. I'm not going to touch on that right now.
Yeah.
But people think it's a lot older than what it actually is. Some of the main reasons is that the text was tapped into metal. So like
Yeah.
with a fucking basically just scribing it into the metal.
And it was done in a rushed way, wasn't
And it was done in a rushed way in a language they don't use.
Yeah. This one's rushed.
This one is literally just go here, find this.
Yeah.
Go here, find this. In this cave, there is this thing.
quick, turn left at bush. Quick, look at rock, at left. Yeah.
Basically.
In a sense, it's like a fucked up Easter egg hunt.
Pretty much.
But the Jews don't do Easter, so like Passover or something? A Passover hunt?
Imagine if it was just like a scroll for some kid's birthday.
Yeah, just like a little game.
Yeah, it's just like a little game, and like they say it's gold, but it's really just like little kids
Those
running
little
around.
chocolate coins that you can unwrap. Oh, look, if we look here, we'll find 400 tons of gold.
Yeah.
People have been dedicating their entire lives to this thing.
Yeah, I know, it could have just been some kid.
Some Jewish
Yeah.
kid's little birthday.
This is the hardest thing with like anything ancient is you weren't there.
No.
So
There's
you
all
don't
these theories and stuff.
you don't know the context.
You know the con.
We're changing it to job because you're taking it out of context there. What's your name anyways?
Here are the context of like anything. So what we think could have been this massive Jewish fucking treasure, like,
Yeah.
and it's copper, so it must be super important. It could have just been like a real rich kid's. But it's the thing is, like, it's the Essenes whose whole deal was give up every earthly possession.
It's just unusual why they would possess
Yes.
this scroll, and obviously because it's been rushed, it seems, and it's made of a durable material. It makes sense for this to be something to come back to.
Yeah, of course.
After all this has happened, I mean, yeah. I fucking know, dude.
We got the Qumran Essene communal theory.
What's that?
A bunch of French dudes
Yeah.
basically suggest that the treasure belonged to the Essene community itself.
Yeah.
This one is a bit harder to believe because of the language.
The Essenes, it was their treasure.
Yes, because their whole idea was when you joined them, you gave up everything. You had no earthly possession.
Yeah.
You pile it all into a big pot.
Well, they were more or less scribes, from my
Pretty much,
understanding.
yeah. Because the Essene rule required members of the community to give up all personal property. Thought the community may have gained significant wealth from taxes and tithes over 2 centuries. Puge argues that the scroll was placed in the cave by the community in the months preceding the fall of Qumran in 68 CE. The treasure itself.
Yeah. There's been many attempts to, I guess, to track the treasure. Obviously, you need to have a great understanding of the geography in order to find out where some of this treasure is. But a couple of people have come close in doing so. This place called Hyrcania, which was basically a fortified palace used by a king, specifically King Herod, which is the dude in the Gospels who tries to hunt the infant Jesus and kill him, right? So the very first entry in the Copper Scroll mentions steps in the scar, and archaeologists sort of track this to a tunnel beneath Hyrcania due to its correlation with these steps in the scar. The part of the scroll that references these steps in the scar is in the ruin that is in the Valley of Achor, under the steps with the entrance at the east, a distance of 40 cubits. Ridiculously specific, if you ask me. Yeah, it was more or less a chiseled entrance with steps located in a riverbed, and was found exactly where the scroll suggested. It's been notoriously difficult to explore because of flash floods that periodically fill it with mud, which at one point pushed 2 years worth of excavation progress back into the mountain. So imagine you're on your hands and knees. Well, that's not hard for you. For 2 years you dig, and then in one day that's completely removed from you.
I'll remove myself from you and me.
Bob Morgan was a Vietnam pilot who treated the search with the intensity of a treasure hunter. Bob Morgan actually managed to track them and arranged to meet with John Mark Allegro to excavate basically, but on the day of his meeting with Allegro died, so he never got to make that happen.
How did he die?
I think it was a heart attack. The first thing I did, he died at like age 65 or something.
Yeah.
The first thing I did, I was like, oh, he died at 65. New tab, John Mark Allegro death conspiracies. And it's
Heart attack
nothing.
going.
And he spent 10 years manually pulling mud out of this cave, all by himself, while the IDF conducted like live fire training drills right next to him, pretty much. He even, at one point during the night, he got stabbed in the hand by like African thieves and just continued to dig. After chiseling about 120 meters into solid rock, no treasure whatsoever was found. This guy dedicated 10 years to doing this.
Was he from like the region?
I don't believe so. Bob Morgan.
That doesn't sound very Palestinian.
He was a white dude. It doesn't sound very Palestinian. After the tunnel appeared perfectly cleaned of artifacts. So I guess you kind of have to think whether or not something was there and it had been taken, or what is more likely, there was nothing
probably
there.
nothing
The one thing that they actually found there, a complete female ibex skeleton was discovered roughly 100 meters deep into the tunnel. Laboratories dated the ibex bones to 590 BCE, coinciding with the destruction of the first temple.
What's the significance of an ibex?
They found this thing 100 meters into this tunnel. Archaeologically, they dated the bones to 590 BCE. However, the tunnel itself is architecturally a second temple construction.
So it's been placed there.
It seems to be that way. I'm not too sure. It's kind of hard to explain how a fresh ibex can end up in a tunnel built centuries later.
Well, yeah, then it's probably been placed there.
Yeah.
So maybe the ibex has some ritual significance. I want to talk about this Egyptian Akhenaten hypothesis.
This is what you've spent your time on.
This is what I spent all my
Emerald,
time.
Emerald Tablet of Thoth type
Emerald
shit.
Tablet, it's got nothing to do with that. But. So Robert Feather, he's not a historian. He's a metallurgist and engineer.
Yeah.
He basically proposes this idea that it's not a record of any sort of temple wealth, but a copy of an ancient Egyptian inventory belonging to Pharaoh Akhenaten. And then he kind of talks about how the Qumran Essenes are basically like the final holders of this Egyptian religious
Treasures and stuff.
Even like that on itself is like,
I believe it instantly.
yeah. So his whole idea is that the Essenes had no way of actually making this.
Yeah.
And the amounts they talk about don't make sense.
Yeah.
Like two pretty valid questions. They never riveted anything from what we know ever.
They lived in caves.
They lived in caves.
I think the extent of the Essene technology was that they had rock formations that held water. It was like a basin.
None of the skills, like the riveting techniques, the copper, the metallurgy,
Yeah.
was present in Judea at the time.
Hadn't even entered the Bronze Age.
Hadn't even entered the Bronze Age, dude. He thinks that if you transfer the weight suggested in the scroll to the Egyptian kite instead of the biblical talent, the weights make sense.
Yeah. And it becomes a bit more realistic.
And that the Greek letters at the end sort of refer to the Egyptian pharaoh, and that things they actually found at Egyptian archaeological sites
yeah.
kind of match
Correlate to the scroll.
Yeah, they match amounts. That's about it. So the biblical talent would result in an impossible total of over 100 tons of gold and silver.
Yeah.
Basically didn't exist on the whole planet.
100 tons.
100 tons.
It's pretty brutal.
About as heavy as your mother. He reads it as the kite. And then if you apply the kite unit...
Fuck you, dude. If you apply the kite
If you
unit.
apply the kite unit...
Well, maybe, dude.
Not done.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
He points out that the scroll's method of recording numbers using repetitive vertical strokes for units 1 to 9 is identical to systems used in Egypt around 1300 BC.
Yeah.
Feather also believes the scroll is encrypted with specific markers pointing back to Akhenaten's capital. Guess what it's called?
Egypt.
Akhenaten.
Akhenaten.
He's basically saying these things were the Egyptian mystics
Yeah.
that hid 1,500-year-old Egyptian treasure.
So they're
That's
basically-
basically the whole thing, and his whole idea is that Essenes didn't know how to make this, Egyptians knew how to make it back then. If you put these
Therefore.
letters, if you just chop and change these letters,
Yeah.
it spells Akhenaten.
We have iPhones today. Atlanteans also had iPhones.
Exactly.
Therefore we are iPhones.
Yes.
I mean, it's definitely possible. I mean, some of that Egyptian technology had to go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Someone must have been like, "Fuck, that's actually a good idea."
Yeah.
Once they left Egypt, where did they go? They went to the Holy Land.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. Allegro was basically the only guy saying that this actually might be something, whereas all of academia was more or less saying that it's completely ridiculous. Now things have kind of changed. I guess more academics are saying that, hey, you might be onto something. Obviously, time and time again, people have gone to look for this gold. No one's found it. But I mean, I guess that doesn't change the fact that we just don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you
You
don't.
know how long it would take to comb that entire desert for gold?
You know how many other people could also have a list of it?
Do you know how good these particular people are at digging tunnels, bro? You know how good they are at digging tunnels?
They're good at they are at hoarding wealth.
Yeah.
Like this wouldn't, especially the amount of gold that suggests, if it actually is the biblical talent, it's a fucking lot of money.
It's tons upon tons.
So it's pretty unlikely that wherever it is, it's still there. especially considering how long ago this was.
I-
You're talking like just after zero.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, it's a really long time ago.
Maybe 2,000 years ago.
So that's the Copper Scroll. To sum it up,
To sum it up, we need your money
to go to Palestine
in
right
order
now.
to find the Copper Scroll.
So please fund this endeavour.
Yes.
I'm selling my body currently. For this
The next
garage.
video will have pictures behind us.
You will have something here. So to sum up the Copper Scroll,
Yeah.
no one knows where it is. It's most likely already been found.
Only I do know where it is, and I will tell you if you buy my course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my course on treasure hunting.
Yes. Right. All right.
Um,
Is that it?
that's about it.
All right. Sweet.